Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bart coming at you yet again with another obscure mic video. And today I've got one that I'm very excited about, very obscure. It is the Alctron, gotta love me some Alctron, the BC800 version 2. Let's see if we can get a good look at the box there. A BC, so bright. Not the mic exactly, but... So yeah, the Alctron BC800 version 2. Now, let's talk about version 1 real quick. So, version 1, as pictured up here, was a... so the Art D7 was essentially the same thing as the Alctron BCV800, or BC800. The first one. So Art D7 rebranded Alctron microphone. This is the successor to the Art D7. So as you can see the picture I still have displayed up here, you can tell the differences. There's not a ton, but you've got the XLR is coming out of the bottom here, and this is flush. Very flat, I'll show you. Flush, flat, all that good stuff. So this supposedly is going to sound a little more presence boosted than the version 1, Art D7. We'll just call it the Art D7. Supposedly this sounds better. The Art D7, very muffled sounding. Like it sounds like you have a sheet or plastic wrap over your mouth. It sounds kind of odd. Now, I've never had the D7, so let's go ahead and check out a video with his permission. Andrew of Podcastage was cool to let me use a little snippet. We'll throw it up there, and let's just throw it over the whole thing. I'll just cut from me, go to him, but you can listen to a piece of his review for the Art D7, and then figure out if you think this sounds the same. Different voices, I know. Got to do what you got to do. But let's throw Andrew of Podcastage and his Art D7 review over this real quick.
So today I'm reviewing this guy, the Art D7 large diaphragm dynamic microphone. If you are interested in this microphone, it'll set you back around $200 on Amazon, as per usual, link in the description. And for this video, I'm connecting the mic using the Steinberg UR12 because I did have some grounding issues with the Scarlett Solo. My gain is set at around 75%, and I will do no post-processing to the audio, but I may boost it in post, so check the doobly-doo for more information. As far as the build quality, this thing feels absolutely amazing. It has an all-metal construction, a metal grill, a metal chassis, and just a really nice amount of weight to it. On the side of the microphone, you'll find two switches. The first one is a low-frequency roll-off that will cut frequencies starting around 100 hertz, and the second one is a mid-frequency boost.
Okay, so muffled, very muffled. He wasn't a fan of it, though in his new dynamic microphone shootout, which it was a good one, half-hour long, nothing but dynamic broadcast into dress microphones. The Neumann, is that an into dress? Either way, Andrew just did a great video comparing all of them. And the D7, Art D7 scored a little better than I expected. I was very surprised. So it's still kind of not that great of a mic, and I think Andrew would agree. But I'm sure even he was surprised at the lower quality of some of those mics, that the D7 beat it in some categories. So, okay, let's talk about this microphone. It has an all-metal body. It is built really, really well, like a rock. It is the only drawback, and it's not that big of a drawback because it's not that much grill, but the grill on the front of this has a considerable amount of give to it. It is very flexible, but it's just one little piece of foam mesh over it. Let's, before I go into more testing, one of the big advantages, I keep interrupting myself. One of the big advantages to Alctron microphones, I have another microphone I'm going to review that came with one of these as well, is the shock mount system. It's almost like a Rycote, I don't know. The shock mount that the Rode NT1 comes with, and it's really good quality stuff. The shock mount for this microphone is kind of the same thing. It's got the real thick rubber pieces that keep it in place and keep it from, catching room noise, table noise. It's not going to work 100%. And then it's universal. You've got the screw points. I'll show you. So it's very universal. Like a shock mount like this would run someone probably $50 to $100 if they bought it by themselves. But I got the Alctron BC800 version 2 with the shock mount, with a nice foam windscreen for $130 shipped, tax, everything off AliExpress. So if you want a high quality shock mount, you can grab this or the Alctron CS35 that I'm going to review soon. And you get a really sweet shock mount with those that is just fantastic. I really liking this shock mount a lot. So do I regret the purchase so far? No, I don't. With that being said, before we talk about the sound, let's go ahead and throw some Peter Piper into it. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled pineapple pizza. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled pineapple pizza. And when you get right up on the Alctron BC800 version 2, this is what it sounds like. When you get right up on it and take advantage of the proximity effect, this is what it sounds like. Okay, so another advantage to this microphone. Plosives, I think it handled them like your everyday average mic would. Nothing special, nothing great. Proximity effect, I kind of liked it. I thought it was a little bit smoother once you got on top of it. I think it sounds really pretty solid. I don't think that sounds bad at all. You definitely lose a lot when you back up off of it, but that's most mics. And when you back up off it and lose a lot, that's also what she said. Sorry. Let's throw the provided windscreen on it just so we can see how much it changes the tonality of the mic. Okay, so now we've got the foam windscreen on the mic, and this is what it sounds like. The foam windscreen, it's pretty heavy, it's pretty solid, good quality, and this is what it sounds like. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled pineapple pizza, and it really helps cut out the plosives a lot. Let me see if I can show you, which I'll show you more about the mic anyways, but let's see if you can see the switches on this microphone. So we got two switches on this microphone, and right now it's set in a flat mode. So completely flat. This is the microphone's flat mode. We've got a low cut filter and we have a presence boost filter. So let's kind of go through those and see what we got in this Alctron BC800 version 2. I was really excited to do this mic, and I'm not hating it so far, but it does still have a little bit of that muffled sound to it, just a little. Like I don't hear a lot of clarity. Now, again, it doesn't sound super shrill, which is surprising. I'll get to those switches in a minute. But I'm going to show you a picture of this box real quick. The presence boost, on the frequency response chart, it's mostly flat with a lot of road bumps. But then at the very end, at about 8,000 kilohertz, it takes a massive spike at the very end. And I've never seen one quite like that. Very strange. Very, very strange. Okay, let's go through some of the filters real quick to see what it changes. I already, from the last one, that low cut just makes it way too thin, but we're going to do it anyways. And I tested this with my Tascam DR10X, little plug-in, snap-in recorder, and it was way thin on that. It's not as thin on this one. It's not as thin, but this is what it sounds like with the low cut filter enabled. Let's enable the presence boost on top of that. All right, so now we've got the low cut filter and the presence boost enabled, and this is what the microphone sounds like. I'm not totally upset with this microphone so far. I mean, I had high hopes, even though it's Alctron, but I mean, so far, for what I paid and what it looks like with the mount, I'm not upset. Let's go just presence boost now. We're going to turn the low cut filter off. All right, so now we're out of flat mode. We turn the low cut off, and this is just presence boost. Presence boost is on, no low cut filter, and this is what the microphone sounds like. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I like the most there. It's going to take some review to find this out, because there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on with this mic, and I can't quite pinpoint whether I like it or I don't. Neutral on it right now. Let's put it back in the flat mode. I've got the mic upside down, or else I wouldn't have to look. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's forget about the switches that come on the mic and use my Rodecaster Pro switches and see what we can eke out of it with some processing on. So we're going to enable processing right now. Okay, so this is the microphone with some processing on it. Compression, de-esser, high-pass filter, and a big bottom. Let's turn the high-pass filter off. Okay, the high-pass filter is now off. This is what it sounds like with compression, a de-esser, and a Aphex big bottom. Aphex is a company that does effects. They're built into the Rodecaster Pro. So let's turn the big bottom off and see what happens when we throw a bit of sparkle on top with an oral exciter. Okay, this is the BC800 version 2 with an oral exciter, and it instantly just gets a little bit too shrill for me. The oral exciter on the Rodecaster Pro, I've not found a lot of good use cases for it. So we're going to turn that back off, and I'm going to leave the big bottom off. This is just compression and a de-esser and nothing else. Let's throw a high-pass filter on it for good measure. Compression, de-esser, and a high-pass filter is what we have on it now. And this is what the microphone sounds like. I'm going to go back to the big bottom because I kind of like the big bottom on it. So this is flat mode with some compression, de-esser, and a big bottom on it. So did this make the mic sound a lot better? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Let's turn processing off. I almost like this mic better unprocessed, if that makes any sense. Not really sure if I liked any of those effects on the microphone. Almost thinking I like it better in flat mode, but I miss a little bit of that clarity. Let me turn that presence boost on one more time. All right, presence boost back on it, and I'm not sure. I think I still like the flat mode, but we'll see. Overall thoughts on this microphone, I think it's worth it. But this is one of the first microphones that in my headset, I'm just not sure about. I cannot quite pinpoint how I feel about this microphone. So, I mean, I think it's solid. I'm going to give it the yellow light because I think if you want to grab it, go ahead. I think it's a great deal. If you don't. It's not going to hurt anyone's feelings except maybe Alctron's if you don't grab it. Because it's not an instant like, oh yeah, but it's not an instant, oh no. I'm on the fence about how I feel about this thing. So I'm going to listen. To the video, and I'll comment how I felt about the sound of this microphone. I need to hear this through some monitors because it's got me stumped. So Alctron BC800 version 2. I might have to do a shootout with this and another microphone. Maybe the BCD1 is a good match for this. It lost to the Heil PR40 handily, so I've got another mic to go up against the Heil PR40. The BCD1's out of the little contest I'm not even running. Alctron BC800 version 2. Obscure mics. Tell me what you think about it. Peace out.